Hello and welcome to Sports Opinion, the weekly sports talk show on Channel 18, which is public access TV. Please support public access TV whenever you're asked. I'm Dirk Keller. This here's Bob Boyd, back from vacation.
Yep.
Bud Supple's over here, back from rushing all over the world with Thanksgiving deliveries and all kinds of things. By the way, I always forget to thank Supple's Florist for the lovely arrangement that we have every week on our show. Really nice stuff, Bud. Thank you very much. And, Earl the Pearl Murphy is back with a really stylish, very cool Hawkeye sweater that I'd like to have.
Looking good, huh?
Very stylish, very old school, which I like. And I'm guessing they sold those at Bremer's back in the day, eh? Well, I want to talk about back in the day because we just lost a good friend of Sports Opinion. Longtime Hawkeye supporter Pat Foster died on Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend. Pat was 87 years old. He was a friend to all of us. We had him on Sports Opinion a couple of years back now and talked about the old days. Pat was a former Hawkeye football player. He played fullback and defensive end on the 1945 and 46 teams. What's so funny? Okay. And he also was a founding member of the Johnson County I Club. Also, former past president of the National I Club. Very supportive of the Hawkeyes in every possible way. Longtime owner of Foster Maytag here in Iowa City, which still is in business.
Yep.
And good guy, funny guy, good time guy. And I want to send our condolences to his wife Doris, to his sons and daughter, and also just thought we might tell a few Pat Foster stories. You got any off the top of your head? I got a good one to start with if you want to think about it. All right. Back in the day, and I'm thinking this is late 80s, early 90s, me and my crew who tailgate for Hawkeye football games used to go over there to the press box parking lot on Friday nights with our vehicle loaded with the coolers, the food, the drinks, everything. And we might sit there after we parked our vehicles together, including Pat Foster, and have a beer, tell a story. Maybe my buddy Worm would blow the horn, and we'd just get fired up for the game the next morning.
That guy still come to the
Oh,
games?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Still blows the horn.
I'd like to hear him sometime.
We got to get him to our special Friday luncheon, which will go unnamed. Anyway, so we're over there one Friday night. It's early in the season. It's before the Big Ten conference games began. And Pat Foster decided to bring a couple bottle rockets with him and a couple of Roman candles. And now, this is a guy after my own heart right there. I like to blow stuff up. I always have. And so,
like mailboxes and stuff like that?
No, never did any damage type stuff. Just,
I don't live in your neighborhood.
shoot a few things
I know
off.
a few people that did that.
And,
Well, the university police
well, this was before 9/11.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
security was a different issue then.
That's for sure.
But we fired off a few bottle rockets and then we went home. So I just live a few blocks from Carver Hawkeye. This had to be mid-90s, early 90s, because I didn't move in there until 92. So anyway, let's just say 15 years ago. And we pull into my driveway. There's the crew followed me home. We pull into the driveway, and all of a sudden, here's a bunch of cop cars with the lights going, the sirens going in my neighborhood.
Oh, good.
I thought, what the heck? And I get out of the car, and it's a university patrol.
Yeah.
And fortunately, it was a former classmate of mine who I recognized. We each recognized each other right away. He says, Dirk, was that you guys over there? I said, I don't know. Are we in trouble? And he got on the phone right away and said, no, it wasn't gunshots. It was just fireworks.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. They scrambled 5 cop cars into my neighborhood, my tight little
goodness.
neighborhood, all because Pat Foster wanted to just blow up a few things that night. So it might have been opening, it might have been the night before the first game of the season. So he just wanted to get a little festive, and we were all gung-ho for it. But that's Pat Foster. That's my first Pat Foster story. Of course, Pat is famous for ringing the bell to get things started every Friday breakfast, or blowing the whistle.
Yeah.
Earl's the bell. I'm sorry, Earl.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. Pat was famous for getting the whistle blown to start proceedings for the Johnson County I Club Friday morning breakfast before all the Hawkeye home games. And he was just a real character.
Well, I remember him from those Friday morning breakfasts, and at that time, Murph, weren't they initially at the Highlander Inn, right?
Well,
That the first?
Oh, they started down in the basement of Lowry's.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, okay, yeah. Then they went to, yeah.
You joined me up right away.
Yeah, they were at the Highlander, and then they were at the old Holiday Inn out in Coralville off Interstate 80.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Then at the Sheridan, right? Weren't
And then
they?
to the Sheridan.
Yeah. Well, we all remember Pat from those days for sure, but I think my initial exposure to Pat Foster was as the loneliest guy in town.
Yeah.
The Maytag service guy,
Yeah.
and Foster Maytag, you know? And I kind of got to know him through that, and then, of course, the Hawkeye stuff is legendary, but I did not know until many years after I knew him that he was a letterman.
Yeah. He
That,
never
You know, played in the 45, 46 seasons after
Well, I
he
don't
got
know.
out of the service, right?
he never bragged about it.
No,
No, I don't know.
no.
Well, he didn't play that. I
No,
don't-
he was on the
he didn't-
team.
oh, yeah, he's on the team. That was it.
Grew up in West Branch.
I played basketball against him.
Did you really?
Did you really?
I'll be darned.
Did you ever dunk on him, Murph?
You, you said that because I played center.
And you played for St. Pat's?
That's St. Pat's,
And he played for West Branch?
West Branch.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
And I think we might have beat him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, you know you probably beat him. Come on, Murph.
I
You
don't know,
won the
I-
game.
Catholics
beat the
versus
Irish.
Quakers.
You know, he was a brother-in-law of
Buck Turnbull.
Turnbull.
The
Yes.
Des Moines, longtime Des
Sister
Moines
married-
Register
Oh, the
sports writer.
Register
Yeah.
sport, I did
Yeah.
not know that.
Yeah.
Tailgated with Buck a few times.
Yes.
He would tailgate with us.
Mhm.
Well, that's an interesting
Now,
little
is that the
tidbit.
sister that lives in West Branch yet?
That
married the mayor?
No.
No.
Sister that lives in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then wasn't that his son ran
His
that
son,
basketball
Jim.
team in Des
His
Moines?
son Jim created the Arena Football
Yes.
League,
Or football,
Yeah.
yeah, football.
which
that's
spawned
right.
Kurt Warner,
Right.
and
right.
which is thriving to this day.
Now, Jim Foster, he sold his interest, right? He
I
got
believe
out.
that's
Yeah, I
true.
don't think he's in
I don't
it.
think he's in it anymore, but
No.
he
No.
had,
Started-
he
he
started
started
the
it.
Arena Football League, yeah.
Yeah. Came up with the idea
Yeah.
on a cocktail napkin.
No kidding.
That's how the story goes. And so, yeah, Pat Foster, rest his soul, and it was an honor to know him and call him friend, and I just want his wife Doris to know that we're thinking of her and the kids and everybody else involved.
Lived on East Court Street for years, just about a block from City High.
Is that right?
Yeah. But I'll tell you one thing about Pat Foster, if you called and said my Maytag machine doesn't work or doesn't work the way, he would go through it with you rather than coming out there and charging $75 for a call and fix it and stuff. He'd try and get you to fix it.
He was a good, honest
And then-
businessman.
Yeah,
Then he'd say, stop down here and get some parts here, and he never did ever charge me for the parts I had to screw in there or whatever I had to do with them. So
Yeah.
he was a
well, you're right.
very
yeah.
good,
Yeah,
very good guy.
they did a good job there at Foster Maytag, and then he retired and sold it, and
Yeah.
they still
And
do
they're
a
still
good
doing a
job.
good job.
Yep.
the
Yeah,
ones
they
he
do.
sold it to.
They
Because he
Absolutely.
was very particular about who he was gonna sell it to.
Well,
That's good, because I was pretty particular about who I bought it from,
that's right.
right?
You have to be these
You
days.
knew you were gonna get good service,
That's right.
so, but good Hawkeye. Passed
Bless his
away.
memory, bless his soul.
Mhm.
It's kind of the end of an era, and so
Mm-hmm.
I hope he was able to watch the Nebraska game 2 days before he died. Friday morning, the anticipation all day on Thanksgiving, just waiting for that game to start on Friday morning. It was tough, and then the game starts, and right out of the chutes,
Well,
Hawks look good.
You know what was really cool? I was in California, my wife and I for Thanksgiving visiting our son and his family. And how weird is that? You know, in California, the game came on at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
and we were ready. I mean, first thing in the morning, you get up.
Bloody Marys?
No, it was more like coffee and cereal, you know? And then the game, you know, 12:30, it's over, and you got the rest of the day, but that's so weird. I'd never, you know, certainly we all experienced starting tailgating and all that at 9 in the morning for an 11 o'clock game here, but it was strange when the game started at 9 o'clock out there in San Francisco area. So.
See, what gets me is what a great record we had, and then our losses were by the 3 teams in the top 10.
Yeah.
4 teams.
4 teams, yeah,
Yeah.
in the top 15.
Yeah.
And then, if Wisconsin would have played the way they did Saturday here, we would have won that one.
I don't know how they do that.
Oh,
At
I don't
home
either.
to
That
Penn
just
State
made
of
me
all
sick.
teams.
Last game of the season
Just,
at home?
I don't get it.
Well,
I
that's
don't
the
get
Big
it.
Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
no,
is.
you're right. See,
Uh,
I wouldn't be surprised Michigan State beats
Oh,
Ohio State.
Oh,
Not at all.
I fully expect them to. I have not been impressed. I've said that before. Ohio State is not a strong defensive team.
No.
They're
Yeah,
certainly
no.
not a number 1 team in the nation.
They have what do you call him, tailback,
Mm-hmm.
Hyde.
Yes.
Carlos Hyde, yeah.
I think he's the best
Oh, he's
runner
good.
I've ever seen.
And Miller, boy, I'll tell you, that's a pretty good combination.
I'm gonna go,
Yep.
I'd stay with Ohio State.
I don't think their defense can. I think Michigan State's defense is going to shut them down like they have everybody else they've played, except Notre Dame. I bet they'd love to have that game back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ohio State has snuck out a lot of close games, including at Purdue. I'm sorry,
How about at Purdue?
At Iowa.
at Iowa.
Iowa.
No, that game was at Ohio State.
Oh,
Their game
Ohio
at
State, yeah.
Northwestern
But
was
Ohio
real
State,
close.
that was, we were ahead 3 quarters. Everyone says halftime. No, it was 3 quarters.
Yeah.
It's 24-24 at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yep.
In Columbus,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Ohio State just doesn't impress me. We saw what happened in Michigan on Friday with Ohio State, or Saturday, excuse me.
What a surprise that was.
Yeah, I did not expect Michigan to look that strong.
Oh, I didn't
No,
either.
nobody did.
But I really have to give that coach credit for going for 2 points.
Yes.
Brady
Yeah,
Hoke went
I
for, he went for 2, and you had to.
Yeah.
You had to. You had a
The
quarterback
only
who's
thing
beat
is,
up and limping.
instead of sending the guy to the center, he should have took the outside.
Well, I had breakfast with a friend of mine this morning, Bud, and he said he taped that game and he went over that last play, 2-point conversion try by Michigan. He said there were 3 guys on the right side.
Right side.
Tight ends, or receivers.
Mhm.
And he said 2 of them quit on the play.
Yeah, there was nobody in
Yes.
the middle.
One was supposed to go to the right and to the corner, one cut across and come across the end zone.
They didn't.
And the other guy the guy he threw to, I think, was planted
Yeah.
right over the goal line, but the other 2 didn't run out their patterns.
Yeah, I didn't think Michigan looked good at all.
They had some big plays, but
No,
their,
I
their
didn't either.
defense gave up an awful lot. They were fortunate to be able to tie that game. It was a miraculous comeback. And
Yeah.
like Bud said, that decision to go for 2 was universally praised and accepted
Yeah.
as the right thing to do. The execution of that 2-point
Yeah,
play
that's right.
was the wrong thing.
And
That's
just
the
think
way
of
it
all
goes.
the touchdowns we made by going out to round.
Well, yeah. Back to the Iowa-Nebraska game. Defense. Holy cow. Did they rise to the occasion?
Yeah, they sure
They
did.
created 2 turnovers in the first half, another one in the, I believe, third quarter. 2 of those 3 turnovers led to touchdowns.
Yeah, but you realize that they got a coach, Nebraska, that's going on, he's out of his mind.
Yeah, he's a horse's ass.
Yes.
Bo Pelini.
He just reinforced to everyone what a horse's ass
Yeah.
he is.
See, I don't want him to fire him. I want him to stick
Yeah.
around. for
I
a while.
don't think he's gonna have to, because I think the 2 of them are gonna be,
Athletic director, you mean? Well,
they're really upset over there. I got a relation over there.
So you
And
think
they
they'll
got
both go,
drives,
maybe?
they're collecting money to get rid of both of them.
well,
Coach
that's,
and
they're
the
gonna have to,
athletic
they're gonna have to come up with $7 million for Bo. They're gonna have to come up with, I forget how many million for his assistant coaches, because they're not year to year over there, those assistants.
No, but anymore, how much money can you collect?
Yeah. The AD probably gonna cost him $1 million.
What's that
That's a lot
guy's-
of money.
What's that rich guy name in Omaha?
Oh,
He can come up.
Warren
right-
Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
Warren
Yeah.
Buffett can write one check.
Oh, he'll just pull that out of his pocket.
That's pocket change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know, it was a great victory for the Hawks. You know, tell me if this is true or not. We've had a lot of success blitzing Purdue, Michigan, and Nebraska. Is Phil Parker blitzing more the last 3 or 4 games, do you think?
Yeah,
I'd say so.
Yes.
It seems like we're getting to the quarterback, and we weren't earlier, in the
Boy,
season.
we really had some real good hits
Yes.
against Nebraska.
late in the game.
See, Bob, I think it started the Ohio State game. However, that guy would run back and forth, we couldn't catch him.
Couldn't catch
But
him.
we were in there, but you
Yeah.
couldn't catch the guy.
But I think we'd all agree that we're glad to see us being more aggressive on defense, if that
Yeah.
be the case. It's been fairly successful.
They
I'd say.
punished,
You're gonna get burned every now and then, no question.
but Saturday or Friday, they punished that Nebraska quarterback, Kellogg, time after time, late in the game. Phil Parker, I thought, called the best game of his career as a defensive coordinator. He had those blitzes timed perfectly.
Well, that's what we're talking, he's been doing that.
Yeah.
He's
This
been
is-
doing that.
This is what you get when you study films and films and films
Yeah.
and films.
And this team is getting better and
That's
better
right.
and better as the season
That's
goes
right.
on.
That's
They're
right.
doing things now that they weren't capable of doing at the beginning of the season.
Well, let's give the coaches the compliments they deserve, because every now and then we criticize them, don't we? I mean, they've coached this team up.
We were fortunate to
These
that.
kids have gotten better every game all year.
We were fortunate that they lost their quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. But that's football.
Yeah,
We're
I know.
fortunate they lost all those offensive linemen. Too bad.
One thing I want to bring up, and I'm sure you all agree with me, I think that Big Ten commission or whatever it is that picks the all-staters or all Big
All
Ten
conference.
left Morse out of that group. Now, that was bad.
Well, it's the coaches and the media.
And, there's 2 polls.
And
I
he
like
didn't
to
make
say-
either one of them.
I
No,
thought
First
he made
team.
second team.
I'm sorry.
Second team
He
he
didn't
did.
make first team.
Yeah.
but he should have made first team.
Well, I agree. I agree.
I
the way
mean,
it goes.
he played his best game of the season, I thought.
He's played pretty consistent all year. I mean, he's had a real,
He
those
intercepted
3
that
linebackers
pass.
have had a great year.
We're gonna miss those 3 linebackers
Oh,
next
Hitchens,
year.
Oh, you're darn
Kersey,
right
and
we are.
Morris,
They
yeah.
started together for 3 years, as we
Yeah.
talked about a couple weeks ago. James has been starting since his freshman year,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no red shirt for James. I don't know that Kirksey or Hitchens redshirted either.
One of them did, and one of them didn't.
Okay.
I don't remember, is it?
Can we use him if he goes
Kersey.
to graduate school?
Nope. You got 5 years to play 4.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Can we
Uh,
cheat?
Yeah.
Is that what Iowa State, did that guy? Huh? They got 2 on there now.
I guess they make exceptions once in a while.
I mean, I don't think
Iowa
that's
didn't
right.
need any, didn't need really any help. They just dominated that game, much like the Michigan game, statistically, on the field, in every fashion. And guys, what really tickles me the most is to see Mark Weissman and Jordan Canzeri working together in tandem. The way Kirk and the offensive coordinator, Greg Davis, are using these guys, I think right now is perfect. It's thunder and lightning. You've got Mark Weissman knocking guys, Nebraska, the vaunted
Well, he won-
Nebraska black shirts.
They knocked him back about 2 yards.
Yeah.
And he,
Right, that's right.
and he went for a touchdown.
Well, he acted like he fumbled the ball, so they go looking for the ball, and he goes in.
He just knocks them over, bowls them over.
But there's another guy didn't get honorable mention, nothing.
Mark Weissman?
Yeah,
Nah, he's never gonna. You're never gonna get a guy like him to be honored because you got so many other flashy running backs.
I don't think that's right.
No, it's not. It's just the way it is. If Iowa had gone through the conference undefeated or with only 1 loss, it might be a different story. But I'll take Mark Weissman and Jordan Canzeri's 1-2 punch any day. Love watching them play.
Well, the good news is, first of all, we have probably a January 1 bowl game, and we have those guys we were talking about, those running backs back next year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We lose our linebackers, and that's gonna be the toughest thing to replace, but.
16 seniors.
Our,
Yeah.
our most valuable player is our quarterback.
Yeah, right.
I
You know,
agree
Murph,
with you.
you think about it, Vandenberg won 1 or 2 away games in his 2 years as starter. Rudock was 4 out of 5
Is that right?
Yeah.
on the road.
On the
We
road.
lost to Ohio State, and we won our other 4 road
And he looked
games.
darn good
That's
at
pretty
Ohio
impressive.
State.
Yeah, he brings that team up to the line of scrimmage just great.
That's right.
Well, he's in charge.
And he's
he
a
knows-
sophomore.
He knows what's times on that clock.
Mm-hmm.
I get worried sometimes, come on, let's hurry it up, but he talks and talks.
Yeah,
So
that's not,
what were the results of the injury?
He's fine.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's fine. Do you know that the Hawkeyes won 4 of their last 5 games?
That beats losing the last 6 last year, doesn't it?
No kidding.
Doesn't our year last year remind you of Northwestern's this year, where we had all those injuries last year and
Yeah.
some bad luck, and
And we didn't have those
Northwestern
injuries.
had those this year.
That's a difference in a good and bad
Yeah.
season often
Healthy.
in the Big Ten. Last year we had the injuries. This year we don't have them.
But if you remember last year, Northwestern were lucky on 3 or 4 of those games.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And Northwestern finally pulled one out at Illinois, the battle of losers.
Oh, bucket.
You know, so they got something to brag about. Purdue, gee whiz, they're bad.
Wow.
They're
3
bad.
out of 4 trophies.
Yeah, we got 3 out
Yeah,
of 4
that's
trophies.
pretty cool.
That's pretty,
We got to get that Wisconsin Heartland Trophy next
I know.
year. That game's going to be up there.
When's the last time we had 3 trophies, though, huh?
Good
Of the-
question.
Yeah.
Good question.
Of course, they developed a couple of those recently.
I was going to say we probably never had 3 trophies.
Yeah.
Probably never.
We
'Cause
got the pig, and we
Heartland
got
and
the,
Heroes are relatively new.
yeah,
And,
that's true.
And so's that Iowa State trophy,
The Cyhawk, yeah.
Cyhawk trophy.
we've had that a couple times.
Yeah, that's right.
So we wait until Sunday night to learn where the Hawkeyes will go for the bowl game. I think it's a pretty general consensus that it'll be New Year's Day. I think it's probably, personally, I think it's going to be the Outback Bowl on New Year's Day
That's
against
it.
an SEC
That's it.
team.
Tampa, isn't it?
Tampa,
yeah.
yes.
Right.
But do we have to get 2 teams in the BCS to get us?
Not
the
necessarily.
Not, yeah,
Not necessarily.
not
Okay.
necessarily.
No.
Then we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's no question the Outback.
Well,
because
what if it isn't the Outback? Where do you think we'll go?
Well, we'll probably
Gator?
go,
Could be Gator.
no,
Texas?
because the one in
Insight.
Arizona
Oh, the
is ahead of the Gators, so
Buffalo
they
Wild
would
Wings.
take us, right?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
Formerly the Insight Bowl, but we've
Gotcha.
been there a lot lately.
Well, but the only bad thing about it, and I wanted it in Florida because I ain't going to Arizona. I'll never go back there again. But the only reason I'm saying that
They'll miss you. but-
is Minnesota only took 1,000 people
Yeah.
last year,
Yeah.
and they don't want Minnesota, and they'll have to be there next year.
And the Hawkeyes finished in second place in the Legends division,
No question.
and no question about it. The teams like Minnesota, Michigan, or I should say even Michigan, they don't travel like the Hawkeyes travel. You can talk about Michigan and all that, but unless it's a meaningful bowl, those Wolverine fans don't travel.
See, as
Yeah,
it stands
Not
right
for
now,
a
you
7
take,
and 5 team.
No.
You
where
take-
it stands now, you got Ohio State and Michigan State. That's the Rose Bowl and the championship.
Yeah.
Then you got Wisconsin going to the old Capitol Bowl, or the Capitol Bowl, and us the Outback.
Yeah.
As it stands right now.
Who goes to the Orange Bowl?
Well, it'll probably be Ohio State or Michigan State.
But
And
here's
then
what
the
you
other one
gotta
will
worry
go to
about,
the
guys.
Rose Bowl.
Here's what you gotta worry about. Technically, we tied in the Legends division with Nebraska at 8-4, 5-3 in the Big Ten.
Correct.
Even though we beat them, Nebraska travels really well.
Yep.
And so it's still up to the bowl committee.
No, you think they're gonna put a coach on national TV like that?
Might.
Doesn't matter. They don't care about the coach. They
No.
care about the Bucks coming
I
to
know,
town.
but they don't bring any more than we do, and they're not coming. Now, it's the first time I seen a game where there was empty seats up there.
But it
I'm
was
sure
still
there was bite, huh?
still a sellout,
But they didn't show up.
yeah.
Mostly the students.
No,
Thanksgiving.
they would have showed up.
Mm,
They're upset with
That's true.
that coach. They're
That's
just
true.
upset.
They are upset with him, I agree with you, but.
And I still think they're gonna fire Bo Pelini.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, I do too.
I do.
Okay.
When he took his hat off
Oh,
and sprayed spit and
That's right.
swung it near the face of the referee, who had nothing to do with the call that he was protesting, I think that sealed his fate right there. You don't see a Big Ten ref do that, or a Big
No.
Ten coach do
But
that.
right away, that referee should have
Wow.
threw him out of the ball.
I don't understand
You're
why
right
he
about
wasn't
that.
thrown out.
You're right.
How can they not throw him
Well,
out?
That's Memorial, Ohio State, Michigan, and Nebraska, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
We
it's
don't-
going to be interesting to see what Nebraska does, because it wasn't just the act on the field, but it was also the post-game news conference where he
Yeah,
swore,
that's right.
and he was fined
50,000 or something.
$50,000 by
Yeah.
the Big Ten.
And he pays that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Comes out of his.
His check.
Well, he can afford it.
Yeah.
He can afford 50,000. That's like $5 to you and me.
Well,
Fine.
still,
It's a dollar to me.
so how long that athletic director hasn't been there very long, has he?
No,
No,
but they're upset because everybody in Nebraska want him to go, and this guy sticks up for him.
they're embarrassed by his actions.
Well, unless Tom Osborne or the president comes down on this athletic director and says, hey, you know, you're gonna fire this guy or you're gonna be gone, it might not happen.
If it happens because it's Osborne.
Yeah, good point, Earl.
Yeah,
Good point. You know, Bo Pelini's the guy who also called out Nebraska legend Tommy Frazier, former
Oh,
Heisman
yeah.
winner,
yeah,
national champion, who said they need to make a change at
yes.
the head coaching.
A couple weeks
position.
ago he said that.
Oh, it's been a couple months now.
Oh, has it been that
Yeah.
long?
Yeah,
Okay.
he complained about
But
that.
Bo basically said Tommy Frazier doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's not a part of this family. And
Yeah,
I thought, wow, really?
He's gonna be gone.
He's going to be gone. That's right. He will be gone. They might wait till after the bowl game, and I'd be willing to bet that they'll lose their bowl game. They're just not a strong Nebraska team.
They don't have a quarterback.
No. And they don't have an offensive line right now. Maybe they'll get healthy by bowl time, offensive line wise, but I don't know. I don't know.
well, they're not either, they're not as good as the record either.
Uh-uh.
Not just this year, but last year. They've lucked out in a few close games.
They've squeaked quite a few out.
Yeah.
Well, look at ours, 14-7.
Well, I believe they said on the TV, you guys probably heard it, that they came from behind in the previous 3 games they played in November to win.
Yeah.
And they were bringing that up thinking they were gonna do it to us, I guess, but obviously that didn't happen.
That's exactly why I thought the Hawks would win and win big. Most of us watched Marv Cook. You didn't see this, Bob. You were out of town, but on maybe you did see it. It was Monday before Thanksgiving. Marv had a couple of seniors on the KCRG live.
I did see that
sports
because
talk
we
show.
left on Tuesday,
Yeah.
yeah, I did see.
Remember
that.
Marv's prediction for the Iowa-Nebraska game? He made a prediction that night on TV. He said Iowa's going to win 34-7. And the final score was actually 38-17.
Yeah.
I think
Because
he
I do
was-
remember he
I
said
think
that.
he
and
was joking
The other
when he
guys
said
kinda
that.
laughed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
thought
I
he was
think-
joking.
I think he was.
We just
Oh,
wanna
no,
win
he
by
wasn't.
one.
No, he wasn't.
He was
Marv
serious.
isn't.
Oh,
Marv's
I-
not much of a joker.
Oh, yeah, if you get next to Marv, he's a joker.
Well, he wasn't joking about that score, and that's how it turned out. And I was very confident the Hawks would win, and they did. And I was very confident when they played Michigan at home. Same reason. Michigan, just like Ohio State, just like Nebraska, they're not very strong defensively. And I thought, given that, the Hawks had a chance, and the Hawks did.
Who Iowa play?
They're going to
Missouri.
play an SEC team.
Not necessarily.
Well, that's who
Now
plays in
the-
the Outback Bowl.
No, not necessarily.
Oh.
Nobody's got a tie to the Outback Bowl like we do. And today's,
I said
But it's a
who-
conference
they
tie.
said Missouri today on,
Did they?
I don't think that's,
Well,
Missouri's not gonna
that's-
drop down that far to play.
huh?
I don't think Missouri's gonna drop down that far. They're, even if they lose
Mm-hmm.
Saturday,
you're
and I
right.
don't think they will, I think they're gonna beat Auburn. That would, if they lost, they'd only have 2 losses. Iowa has 4, and they're just not gonna pit. It's an SEC team, supposed to be a fourth place SEC team that plays in the Outback Bowl against a fourth place Big Ten team. It's all relative because of the BCS and the way the teams can move up and down.
Well, right now, they're getting tired of these bowls on the 6th and the 7th and the 28th and 20th. They want New Year's Day bowls.
Yeah,
That's right.
so do I.
No, I do too, but I mean, they're really getting upset with that stuff. Now, one bowl is the 7th of January.
And
I think
that's
that's the
ridiculous.
Orange Bowl.
Is it really?
Yes.
Well,
No New Year's Day Orange Bowl?
No. Last year, they played on the 5th. I think it's the 7th this year.
Well, we'll find out Sunday night.
See,
We're going bowling, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a good bowl.
Somewhere nice, somewhere warm, somewhere in January.
I hope it's the Tampa.
I do too, and I think
yeah,
it will
do
be.
too. That's what I want.
Good shot at it.
I still think Michigan State's gonna beat Ohio State.
I do too.
I have a feeling it might not even be close. I think there's a
Oh,
chance.
I don't think, I think it'll be close.
I think,
I do too.
I think Michigan State has the opportunity to, shut Ohio State down with 7 or fewer points.
But there's one thing you have to remember. Michigan State did not look very good last week.
That's not a bad thing. That might wake them up a little bit.
Who'd they
But
play?
They beat
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Minnesota was
14
ahead
to
at one
3.
time. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think that's a typical Michigan State game. They're not gonna score a ton of points, but you aren't gonna score against them. That's just all there is to it. They're that good. And they didn't have a great year last year. They turned things around this year quite well.
They sure did.
Just like Kirk turned the Hawkeye program around this year quite well. 8-4 is great. Solid second place in the Legends division. This is the last year for the
Yeah.
Legends and
That's the
Leaders
big
division.
thing. To
Last
me,
year for
that's-
the BCS
That's bigger
too.
than anything.
Yeah.
Them coming in second
Yep.
in the division.
I agree. That's
Well,
a big deal.
and geographically, it all changes from a Western and Eastern division next year.
Mhm.
And we don't play Ohio State.
No,
We don't play Michigan.
no.
We
don't
play
play.
Maryland.
Michigan State. We don't play
Mm.
Penn State.
It's a much more favorable schedule next
We
year.
play our neighbors,
Yeah.
basically.
Did you guys watch the Michigan-Ohio State game?
Yeah.
How about that fight during the game? Now, you got 3 players thrown out of the
That's
game.
right.
The Ohio State player flips off the
Right.
Michigan fans as he leaves,
Right.
and
Nothing.
Meyer's gonna do nothing about it. They're not
Yes.
gonna be, and not just Meyer, but the Big Ten
That's right.
isn't doing anything about it,
Yeah.
because clearly they want Ohio State to be at full strength when they play for the title. But
And
is
that's-
that right?
If that had been Iowa and
Well, that's
Illinois,
Ohio
they'd been
State.
off, right.
That's Ohio State. I mean, guy flipped off the Michigan. He's probably shown him his IQ.
Well, it's the way they fight. And actually, there could have been 8 or 10 thrown out for fighting.
Yeah. What do you think Kirk would have done had one of his players been thrown out? Let's say 2 of his players thrown out, and then one of them goes off the field and flips the bird to the opponent's fans. Would he play that kid in the title game the next week?
No,
No.
no, he
Agreed.
would not.
I don't think he would not allow them to play if they got kicked out.
Yeah.
That does happen.
Well, the
But
way they
for
fought,
for a player to intentionally basically finger the crowd, no, Kirk wouldn't put him.
It was a double flip.
Yeah.
It was very arrogant and uncalled for, and
Yeah.
I don't think Kirk would play him.
but see, that's another case. You got 114,000 and 107,000. The fans are controlling the coaches.
There's a lot of money on the line, so we'll see.
Do you think there's much money to bet on the Iowa, Minnesota?
Or Nebraska.
Or, yeah, okay, Iowa, Nebraska.
I heard a lot of people lost money on that game because Nebraska was favored,
Mm-hmm.
and people bet on Nebraska.
But
I don't
I
know.
think he's getting at, I don't think there's many Iowa people that bet on it.
I don't know. I'm
Las
not a
Vegas,
gambler, so
the big
I'm not a
gamblers,
gambler
do.
either, so.
I think the big
Well,
gamblers do.
I
Yeah,
gotta tell you
yeah.
something, talking about that Nebraska and beating them. I was sitting here watching this with my son, who's 45 years old in California. Last time we beat him, he was in 8th grade, he was 13,
1983,
81.
81, excuse me.
And that is a little scary, you think
Yeah.
about that, you know?
Last time we beat them in Lincoln, 1943.
Oh, my gosh.
70
But
years
all I
ago.
got to say about that, Nebraska was warned when they were coming into the Big Ten because they wouldn't have a 12-0 record. They're in the Big Ten now. These schools that think they're gonna come to the Big Ten and win all the games, they're not going to.
No.
They're not going to.
Well, you're right. I mean, Nebraska, I think,
What's
Was
the
it-
record, do you know?
Their Big Ten record?
Yeah.
I don't know. Good
Well, let's
question,
put it-
Earl.
Let's put it this way, Earl, they've never won
Yeah.
a championship. We
Is
know
that
that.
right?
No.
No championship in the Big Ten.
And
I
they thought
knew
they were
that.
gonna do that.
They played for it against
Yeah,
Wisconsin
okay.
and got slaughtered.
Huh?
They played for the Big Ten championship, was it last year?
yeah, they got beat 70-23.
Yeah.
I mean, and the year before that, they didn't play for the this is their third year in the conference.
What did they say when they got beat that bad? Nothing?
Not
I wished I
much.
wasn't in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's another deal on Pelini.
Yep.
Nebraska has not won a conference championship of any kind since '99.
Right.
So it
Yeah,
wasn't
right.
it's just not the Big Ten, it's the Big 12
Big Eight.
and Big 8 or whatever the heck it was before that. I mean, but that's, that's college football today, with the exception of Alabama. It's parity.
Yeah.
There's never gonna be a program a Nebraska dominate like they used to, or a Michigan. And that would include Ohio State
Well, and
eventually.
that includes Oklahoma.
Yes,
They found out what it is
Texas.
to lose.
Look what Missouri's done
Mm.
in
2
their
years.
second season in the Southeastern Conference, the premier football conference in the nation. They did horribly last year,
Yeah,
and Gary Pinkel, the head coach for Mizzou, turned that thing around, and that was a fun game to watch Saturday night when they played Texas A&M.
But then what I got to say about that, remember it, you probably know the dates, can't remember, but it's about 3 years ago. Missouri come into I think it was the Outback Bowl, and played us. We weren't ranked, they were ranked 8th or 9th, and we just kicked the living heck out of them.
Yeah. This is a different team this year.
I know, but what I'm saying is the Big Ten is tough. I don't
Yes.
care who's in there, they're tough.
yeah.
And we're good at bowl games. If we can get to the bowl games, we're pretty good.
How about that Iron Bowl, Auburn, Alabama?
Oh, wasn't that too bad?
Unbelievable finish. I
That
stepped
was
outside to get a beer when he was kicking that field goal, and I'm looking through the window, and I got the TV right in front of me as I'm digging for beer in the cooler, and I thought, oh, he hit it. The guy had missed 3 field goals already that game, and this one was 57 yards, and I'm thinking, he doesn't have a chance. Not
This
gonna
was a
happen.
different guy, though.
Right, that's
Yeah.
right, a different kicker.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I'm thinking, my God, it's right on line, it's right on target, he's gonna make it. And the next thing I see is that the player for Auburn run it back, he was a defensive back. The kid who caught it and ran it back.
Yeah.
Clearly, Auburn had set up a play on that last kick, and clearly Alabama was
Wow.
unprepared for them to run that back.
And the kick was perfect,
Oh, right on line.
and right to the guy.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
The guy took
Couple
it, and-
yards short.
But
What
what'd
a
you,
shot.
and half of the Alabama team was on the bench.
were they really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my, oh my.
but what
Oh,
did
man.
you guys think
Couldn't
of
happen
when
to a
that
better
happened?
team.
All I could think about is when we did the same thing to him. The coach.
What we did?
Oh,
Well, we won in the last, no time left.
Oh, you
Oh,
mean
yes.
Drew Tate to
Yes.
Holloway?
Oh,
Yes,
Capital One
he went
Bowl.
off the field last week the same way he went off the
Yeah.
field that game.
Was that the game that you missed?
No,
that
don't
last
start
play?
that.
Oh, yeah. You mean
Yeah,
that
he
Bud
didn't see
Left
that
game?
I wonder how many Auburn fans left that game thinking, "Oh, we're dead."
Well,
I'm
I'm
sure
sure
there
go
is.
into overtime if he missed it.
Yeah, that
And
was
he didn't
something.
run it back.
Guys, I've never seen a game end on that particular play. I've seen that particular play. In fact, Devin Hester for the Bears did
Yeah,
it,
the week before.
Yeah,
but
how
it wasn't
about
the end of the game. It wasn't a game-winning play, and that
Yeah.
is just really the situation's got to be just right because normally, if you're the opponent of the team kicking the ball, you're not gonna run that back, cause you want the ball in the field position. That was a 57-yard field goal, that means you'd have the ball at the 40-yard line. Odds are, you're not gonna run that thing back 40 yards, let alone 109.
Yes, but half the team left, was walking off the field.
Isn't that something?
I think they had 6 guys.
They were all positioned.
And they were all big, heavy guys that really couldn't catch up
yeah.
to him.
Right, yeah, 3 of them were trying to catch him and they fell down before they could get.
What a day for football that was. What a
Oh, my.
weekend for football.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday. And then, the whole time this is going on, the Hawkeye men's and women's teams are playing in holiday tournaments. The women are down in Cancun,
Yes.
where they won 3 games in a row. They beat USC, they beat Boston College, and then they beat UNC Wilmington to win whatever the name of that
Where's
tournament
the Drake
was.
game played?
Drake is at Drake.
Drake.
The women won 3 in a row. They finally got Melissa Dixon, their 3-point shooter, on track, which was a big difference maker. And now they've got a home game tomorrow night against number 22 and undefeated Syracuse. If you get a chance, the game's at 6 o'clock. Go out to that game. It's going to be a humdinger. There's going to be a decent crowd. Lisa Bluter has got her team ranked in the top 25 now, and
That's
deservedly
right here.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, deservedly so. It's going to be a fun season for the women.
I think so.
And then the men, they played their holiday tournament down in the Bahamas. They squeaked by in overtime against Xavier. They just pounded the pudding out of UTEP, Texas El Paso, and former Iowa State head coach Tim Floyd.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tim Floyd, did you hear what happened with him down there
No.
in the Bahamas? The night of the first game, I believe his team was playing USC, where he used to be the head coach.
Right,
And during the shoot around, the 2 teams were doing shoot arounds before the game, and the USC head coach made a crack about El Paso, the city. I didn't know this, but Tim Floyd grew up in El Paso,
Really?
and he didn't take kindly to it, and he hit the USC head coach. They had a fight.
Oh, no
They had to be
kidding.
separated by security.
Wow.
And the USC head coach wouldn't talk about it in front of microphones, but Tim Floyd did, and said, "I don't regret it for a minute. You don't talk that way about my hometown, where I grew up, and where I'm coaching basketball in my presence." And he felt strongly about it, clearly.
Wow.
So there was that, and then Saturday night late, the Hawks built a big 15-point lead against Villanova, the team from Philadelphia, who, they got hot. That's all you can say, is they got hot at
Well,
the
they
right
made
time.
Pointers.
4 3-pointers right off the goal,
Yeah.
one guy, bang, 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 all they had to do was pass him.
Yep, that was too bad. The Hawks had played really well.
I
thought,
think it did him some good, and that's why we beat Notre Dame.
Right, I thought last night the Hawkeyes came out more focused
Oh, I do
and
too.
ready to be more physical. I thought what really cost them the game, besides missed free throws, and they sure remedied that last night. They
Yeah.
what'd they make, 22 out of 25?
25 out of 29 against
25
Notre
out of
Dame.
29.
Yeah, and they missed him over there.
86%.
Free throws killed them against Villanova, but I thought their lack of toughness. Aaron White just took a beating early on against Villanova,
Right. See, I
and,
don't-
and
I
we
don't-
didn't fight back. Melson
You don't-
Basabi fought back. He got a
He's all
technical.
bruised up yet.
Oh yeah,
White, he's got a black eye.
He
The
got kicked in
announcer
the
says,
eye.
I can't see how he can
Yeah.
see out of that eye.
yeah. And I thought Villanova was playing a very thuggish and a little street ball. I thought they were, the Philly boys were coming in and they're going to show these Iowa farm boys
Yeah.
how to play basketball. And
Eastern Urban Basketball. Yeah.
it got real physical, real tough. I thought the
Playground.
refereeing throughout the tournament was
But they were
inconsistent.
bad. They were.
Yeah. And
At other games too. I mean, it wasn't
Right.
only the Iowa game, but
Right.
the other games.
But here the Hawks sit 8-1 after the Notre Dame victory.
Yeah.
And like Bud said, that Villanova game, I think, taught them a lesson. They came out last night and they weren't going to get pushed around.
Right.
This is a very good
And
Notre Dame
another
team.
thing you have to remember is Marble was out of that game for a long time with cramps.
Yeah.
And
Well,
when
no,
you
not
go-
the Villanova game.
That was the first game.
That was the
against
game
Xavier.
against Xavier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were very lucky. They went into overtime. You know, he didn't play the last 5 minutes of regulation, and he didn't play at all in overtime.
Well,
They
we
were
were
very
pretty lucky,
fortunate.
all right. We didn't even tie it, never had a lead, did we, until the
No.
overtime?
No,
No,
no. And Mike Gasell was impressive.
Yeah.
Throughout the tournament, he was very impressive last night against
last
Notre
night
Dame.
too, I think.
Big, but it wasn't just the shots he hit, and it wasn't some of the rebounds he brought down, which I think are really key for a point guard, but it's how he controlled the tempo of the offense in every game down there in the Bahamas, and again last night. When he went out with foul trouble against Villanova in overtime, that was the ball game. We didn't have a chance after that,
Yeah,
No.
and that was it.
But he's,
Gasell's important.
he's the
he's
guy
playing
that,
well.
he knows where that ball is all the time.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets the rebounds.
I trust him.
He's watching. He's not watching to see if the ball goes in. He's watching where's that ball, and that's where he got the
I
rebound.
mean,
And I
don't
wish-
you think he's more comfortable at point guard than the two guard?
Clearly,
And they're moving, you know, he's got to
Clearly.
move back and forth quite a lot.
yeah, clearly.
Maybe they're gonna settle him into that.
I wish Utah had that same court sense that Mike Gasell has. Late in the game and late in the first half,
He's-
Utah missed some big rebounds, some big tip-ins.
And he throws a lazy pass.
Oh.
He just,
I thought he killed us against Villanova. He was very passive in
Oh.
hitting the boards. When he would go up for rebounds, he literally would
You don't mean
miss the
Utah.
ball. I mean Utah.
Utah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and last night he
Understood.
even threw a ball that just
Okay.
drifted over. The guy just jumped it
yeah.
to the right.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
tossed it.
That's
Just
right.
Oh.
I will give him the benefit of the doubt because he has not played competitively for 2 years.
Oh, no,
Actually, three.
no, no.
3
no.
years, yeah.
They have, he scrimmages,
Yep, that's true, Earl. There was just something off. And what's weird is that he still hit some key,
oh,
crucial
beautiful.
shots
Right,
last
deep
night.
in the corner.
And
Right.
he makes all his free throws. He's got a beautiful set of hands when
Yes.
it comes to shooting. But when the simple stuff, grabbing passes, grabbing rebounds right in front of him, he is like he's got two left hands.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
He'll get coached up.
And I think he
He'll get
will.
better.
Boy, he,
Oh, yeah.
I think he will.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
focus thing,
He's
I
got the
believe.
talent.
But, and like Murph said, he took some shots that were professional shots.
Oh, yeah.
Such long ones and a beautiful arch.
He's got a beautiful shot, and he's long enough and tall enough where he could be open most time he wants
And
to
he's
shoot
gonna
it.
play a lot of ball.
He
Yeah.
is.
How about the Hawks finally? 3-point range, 56%.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty
Been a
good.
long time since that happened.
Yeah.
But I can remember people talking about him, that we wouldn't have three-point shooters, so that we wouldn't be that good.
Well, we haven't had 3-point shooting this year until
Well,
I mean, the percentage for the year is still not that great.
it is not.
no, but it's like the football team, we're getting better
Yeah.
and better and
Yeah,
better.
that's true.
And we've got 3 seniors on this men's basketball team in Melson Desabe, Zach McCabe, and Devin Marble, who I think we have yet to see the best. We're going to see those guys improve and take over this team as we go down the stretch for the Big Ten Conference season.
Well,
The
Marlon
one
took it
announced-
over for 13 points in a row last
Sure
year.
did.
One announcer says 5 of those guys ought to go to another college. He says, I don't know who's the best out of the 10.
Yeah. Iowa is so deep
Yeah,
and
that's
so
what he said.
talented. They're going to wear some teams out.
Well, and some are gonna get in foul trouble.
And
Yeah.
they can match up because of their, they can go big. They
Our,
can
our
go
little
small.
guard plays good
Or-
ball.
Gasell?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really like
And
the
I do
Clemens.
too.
Clemens off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed.
Well,
Clemens hits some big shots. He plays like a young sophomore sometimes, but in that Thanksgiving tournament, he hit some big shots, and he hit a couple last night that you just don't expect out of him.
Nobody fouls too much.
Yeah, he does.
I mean,
I
they're,
took the elevator with Woodbury last night and,
oh, did you?
He's a tall drink of water, ain't he?
oh my God.
Yeah.
I wish Woodbury could jump. I don't know what's going to go on.
Well, the way I look at that, is we got coaches there, they'll figure that out.
Well,
He needs to get some more meat on his,
And so does Utah,
yeah, he's
And-
another one.
and frankly, so does Aaron.
I think, I'm really an athletic director.
Mhm.
I think there's too darn many coaches.
Like us?
No, like.
No,
foot to
like
the
on
foot.
the team.
Over there, Notre Dame, all of them have.
Right. You don't know who to listen to.
There used to be
Here's
3
a-
coaches at Iowa
Yeah.
for basketball.
Yeah,
I know.
well, now it's.
But
Well,
now
now
you
they're
got 6 or
7 or 8.
7.
What do we have? Fran and 3 assistants, right?
Well, then you got the graduate assistant, then you got the video coordinator, then you got the
Oh, yeah.
Then
Jerry Strom's position.
And Jerry Palmer's, he's in that.
The,
You know Jerry Palmer?
the camera guy?
Yeah, right.
Oh, boy. He shook my hand last night.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yes.
So the Hawkeye men now, after that huge win last night, are going to Drake on Saturday night. Drake, Drake's record is 5-1, and we're playing at Drake in that little. Is it the Knapp
Yeah.
Center? Is that
Knapp
the name?
Center, yeah.
Drake won't have a chance.
I hope not.
The other one scares me.
Iowa State.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll be a humdinger.
Oh, that'll be a
Is
tough.
that here or?
No, it's there.
It ain't.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be hard.
Yeah, so we got some really good basketball coming up, women and men. And we can't forget the wrestlers, the Hawkeye wrestlers. Most people didn't realize they were at Ames Sunday afternoon for a 2 o'clock meet. The Hawkeyes won 7 out of 10 matches, none of them, really very exciting. And yet Iowa State's improved over last year.
They didn't look like it.
Well, that's how bad they were last year. Iowa State was really bad last year.
They were really bad last year, you were right. Yeah.
They're ranked, Iowa State's
15th.
ranked, anywhere
15th
between,
is- yeah.
anywhere between 6 and 15. And Iowa's ranked 4th right now. They are going to be at Edinburgh Thursday night, 6 p.m. on the road. KXIC will have that game, or have that wrestling meet.
Okay.
That's the same time the women are hosting Syracuse. So I'm guessing the women's game will be on WMT AM. But the women's game is also going to be on the Big Ten Network. This is part of that
Good.
Big Ten ACC Challenge, or Big East Challenge.
Big East, yeah. What's the women's record now?
The women are 8-1, correct.
8-1 also, like
Also.
the men, okay.
That is correct. Syracuse is 8-0, and and then let's see, and they're going to also host Idaho State. The women host Idaho State on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
I don't expect that to be much of a game, but
Well,
there's
they
no
may-
TV for the women's
See,
game on
Idaho-
Saturday afternoon.
Idaho
Right.
may not get here.
What's that?
Idaho,
Idaho?
12 inches of snow up in there.
It's coming. The weather's coming, and it ain't going to be pretty the rest of this week.
No.
It's
Yeah,
going
right?
to be cold.
Yeah.
Oh, high of 15 on Thursday and Friday, and low of 0 with
I
wind and
Talked
snow
to my
and ice.
wholesale
Ouch.
dealer in Minneapolis. 10 o'clock, they had 8 inches and coming down strong, and you know where that has to go.
Well, it is December, guys, in Iowa, so.
That's right. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
If you're in Minnesota, you move. And then we've already touched on it a little bit, but the Big Ten football championship game is Saturday night. Where do they play that game? Is it
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, where the Colts play?
Yeah,
It's not a sellout yet.
Wow, yeah.
really?
They're pounding tickets.
I bet there'll be plenty of tickets. That's a big stadium, holds 80,000, I believe.
Oh, my.
And how are you going
But
to
a
get
championship
80,000
game,
to
you
travel?
think you would do that.
That's a lot of money. Those tickets aren't cheap. Those tickets are like, how much are they?
$100.
$100? And a bowl ticket's going to be $200. You got to
Are
pick
you
your
going?
poison.
To the bowl game, yeah. See, I'm only about, that's why I want the Outback Bowl. I'm 97 miles away from my condo.
Is that right?
But I hope you're lying to me. They're $100 a ticket?
For the Big Ten championship?
No, for the,
Oh, the bowl game, it'll be $200, won't it?
oh, no, I hope not. Then I'm not going.
It's not going to be a $100 ticket for that bowl game. No way.
Oh,
No way. Prices.
Oh, I think so.
I think,
I hope so.
For
I
the
think-
Outback Bowl?
Outback.
I think you're on.
I bet it's closer to 200 than 100. Let's put it
Oh,
that way.
no.
No?
No.
Well, we're not there yet, guys.
I'll be sitting there in a chair with a can, help me out to get in.
Yeah,
That's way too much.
yep.
High school basketball's begun. The girls are in action. The
I'll tell-
boys, I don't think the boys have started yet, have they?
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, they won the state and I didn't realize it.
Who? West High?
Yeah.
They won it back to back. They're
Yes.
gonna have a real
Yes.
interesting team this year because they've lost the bulk of those talented stars from the last
Yeah,
2
you
years.
got the guard.
They've got Lohaus, they've got his little brother.
Yes.
He's a sophomore.
They've got
I hear he's pretty good.
he's real good. You know who else they got?
Kid by the name of McCaffrey,
Yeah, Connor McCaffrey, a freshman,
freshman.
6'4" freshman.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's on the varsity, and he'll be playing quite a bit.
Well, and Steve Bergman and the West High Trojans, they also have a 52-game winning streak.
Is that right?
Oh yeah,
2 straight undefeated seasons, Murph.
Did they get beat last night?
they didn't play.
Somebody
last
got
night.
beat, well, in City I did.
The boys.
Well, I don't know, the City High
Boys.
girls won last night.
Yeah,
They beat
City High girls
Washington
won.
by 50
Yeah, I know,
points.
this
Regina girls
team
won.
played Davenport
I think West High girls won too.
Central.
The boys?
I don't think the boys have played yet.
They haven't.
The West girls may have played.
I think the
though.
boys start maybe Friday. Does that sound right? Thursday,
Sounds right,
Friday?
yeah.
Yeah, the girls get a week jump. And then the Regina boys, I think they even get a little extra time because they won the state title. And they don't have, they haven't had enough kids to even practice.
Practice.
Well, that schedule's made up years ahead of time.
Yeah, they're practiced, well, they practice now for a week,
They got a good coach.
probably 7 or 8 days.
Randy Larson, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I think it was West.
Oh, Steve Bergman?
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
good.
they've got a
Yeah.
great coach at West High.
That's for sure.
I think Regina's gonna have I don't think, we know Regina's gonna have a really good girls' team. They beat the tar out of West Liberty last night. 70-something to 20-something.
And they went 19-5 last year,
Right.
made the state tournament, got beat in their first game, so they expect a lot.
Yeah.
I think they're ranked second in their division, aren't they?
Are they really?
I
Yeah,
think
in their
so.
division they are, but they got some tough, you go to Solon, you go to those places, those
Yeah,
schools are
North
larger.
Cedar.
Solon's at the state tournament. The thing I think the girls are lacking is I don't think they
Yeah.
have anyone tall.
They got the Lehman girls.
She's 5'10",
but
that's
she's
as tall
5'10",
as they
that
get
ain't
right
tall.
there, probably.
Joe?
Yeah.
I think the Regina boys are gonna be real solid. It sounds like they're gonna have a bunch more kids on the team than they had last year.
Well,
We had, go ahead.
my grandson's out for the freshman team.
Uh-huh.
There's 6 boys out.
For freshmen?
Whoa,
That's too bad. We have to bring up some 8th graders. If they
Well-
can do that. Can you bring 8th graders up to freshmen?
sure.
Girls, not boys.
Really?
You kids, the first time this year.
Really?
And Regina girls, now this is where I think, I don't know if they'll do it or allow it, but their girls have not lost a ball game. And they're averaging 50 points and
That's a lot
winning
of
by
points.
30, 40 points a game.
City High girls are just loaded. They beat the tar out of somebody last night.
Cedar Rapids, Washington, I
Was it
think.
Wash?
Yeah.
That was 70 to 20 something too.
But something's wrong there. How can Washington be ranked that high and only get 13 points?
Ranked?
Ranked, they were ranked too.
They
That's
got-
how good City
They had
is.
27 points for the game, Washington did.
Okay.
70-something to 27.
Yeah.
I just happened to turn on the radio and caught the last 2 minutes, and
Well, Suter's the one that said they were ranked.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
might
know.
be wrong
Yeah.
about that.
could be.
One thing we're not wrong about is that we appreciate you watching Sports Opinion every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. and replayed every Sunday night at 6 p.m. on Channel 18. That's on Mediacom Cable TV. On behalf of Bob Boyd and Bud Supple and Earl Murphy, I'm Dirk Keller thanking you, thanking Joe Murphy behind the camera with the
Yeah.
lights, making this happen every week. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate your comments. Until next time, remember, either you're a Hawk or you're not. Go Hawks! Thanks for watching.
Amen.
All right.
Go Hawks.